Now we're up on top in the upper plaza. Chapel behind. Bell tower. Dining hall. This is the dining hall. Those chairs even were designed by Saarinen. He did every little thing in there. The chairs fell apart over the course of 40 years, 50 years, however long it was, almost 60 by now. And so they had a huge fundraising project to replace all the chairs, to get them custom built in the Saarinen design by a Saarinen approved architect. Cost $400 per chair. And they did it. They found the donors to give money for that. Has an upper level as well as a lower level. It's really a pretty building. More bricks. If you get dizzy, tell me. I'll stop. All right. This is the student commons. This, when I was a first-year student there back in 2006, they had just refurbished it with new furniture, new paint job, new coffee makers, better coffee than ever, and the place is really nice. A place to go and do some studying, but also some fellowship. Not very big, but it's a nice space. It goes around the corner there a ways too, and there's an upper loft as well. This is the food co-op. This congregation's been involved in helping with the co-ops for some time, and this is a huge blessing to students in terms of their grocery bill. The shelves are regularly stocked with items, and they're high quality, good things that we get. We get a huge shipment every fall called the Michigan Shipment, which comes from congregations of the Michigan District. Lots of fresh produce, some frozen food. There's a company in Wisconsin called Breakbush that donates, I don't know how many tons of chicken every year with no charge. And there you have it. This isn't a very exciting room. It's not hardly used at all, but it's a conference room called Luther Hall. And this is the auditorium. Real nice places where they host their conventions. They just got done having a big one last week, a theological symposium. They call it, there's actually an organ in there as well. And the gym. Nice sunken in gym. This is actually ground level right up here. So it's below ground. Nice gym, just not a very good team. It's like the Lions. Nice stadium, not a very good team. Yet.
They're working on it.
Yep. And this is the most recent addition to the seminary, a nice playground for all the kids. And it is really a family-friendly atmosphere at the seminary. Of course, lots of the guys who are there are younger men, and so they have kids naturally, and so there's a lot of kids. And this playground was a big hit with many of the kids. This was built while I was on Vicarage, so we got to use it for 1 year. And I think is it for the tour. So now you can say you've been to the seminary.
You don't have the clothing?
I don't have the clothing co-op on that tour. Nope. Here's a current shot of the seminary. You can always view live webcams, like you want to do that, right? If you want to go and view a live webcam. But there's the chapel lit up at night. Okay, we're almost to the exciting part. Yeah, here you may be familiar with organizations like the Seminary Guild. This is a group of ladies. Cassie actually joined. They invite the seminary wives to join this group as well upon our graduations. And it's a group of ladies that helps fundraise and do things for the students to make their lives all the more better. There's donation day in the fall, usually in October, where various LWML groups especially get together and present gifts to the seminary in the form of clothing for the clothing co-op, produce, food, gift cards, whatever else for the students. And of course we do have the food co-op, which you saw, which is basically a grocery store where all we have to do is volunteer our time, 4 hours per month, stocking shelves, cleaning the place, et cetera, and we get to shop with a certain amount of points. Each food item has a point level on it. And then the clothing co-ops, where everything is free. We get everything from drinking glasses to computer monitors to never before worn suits. A lot of things are really nice that come in, and the students can go in and shop and take whatever they want without paying a thing. I think I gave the Pacesetters presentation back in October, which was Pastor Appreciation Month, so I said one of the best ways you can show your appreciation for your pastors is to support the seminaries they came from. As a way of saying thank you. If you really do appreciate us, say thank you by supporting the seminaries who continue to train young men to be pastors and women to be deaconess students. Okay. I'm going to show you the latest video of the library expansion project. This is a big deal. It's going to quadruple the size of the current library. That's a big issue that they've had. They don't have room for all their books in the current building. You have to remember that the library was originally designed to be a senior college library for not a very big student population. Well, when the seminary moved back to Fort Wayne, they had all these books because their library in Springfield was enormous, and they had no place to put them. And so it's been now, what, over 35 years that they've been in Fort Wayne with this small library, and finally they got the approval to go ahead with the library expansion project. And it's going to be done, I believe, in time for the school year coming up this next fall. And so I was saying to some people back in the fall of last year that it'd be worth us possibly thinking about if we're going on a congregational trip somewhere and we happen to be in the neighborhood of Fort Wayne, at least stopping by and checking the place out. I have this vision of us taking a big congregational trip down to the Creation Science Museum outside of Cincinnati someday, and that would be kind of on the way. And so maybe that'll happen at some point. Oh, it's going to be slow. Maybe I will let that load. Doesn't like the internet connection in here. I'll let that load and we'll come back to it. Okay, here we go. There's me on call day of last year, standing nervously but really knowing where I was going in front of the chapel. I mean, you never know. That was a wrinkle. Maybe St. John's Midland pulled out of the running. Maybe they don't want a pastor on it. You never know what could happen. Just didn't want to hear something like, Zap, North Dakota, if I could possibly help it. The excitement builds. And this was probably 3 hours before the service. We were already gathering and couldn't wait to get things going.
Do you have any input into where you might be placed? Is that so?
Yes. That's a good question. There's a big form you fill out about this time, actually a little before this time, probably November of the year before you're going to be getting a call. And on that form you can indicate a whole bunch of preferences in terms of what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with, and they typically won't put you in a place that wouldn't work according to your preferences. But then they also ask about geography. Our synod is divided up